Hey guys, this is Joseph,
Alec,
and John.
and we're from the Brook and the Bluff, and you are on that station. We're originally from Birmingham, Alabama. All four of us. We grew up in two different neighborhoods kind of surrounding the city. John and Alec and Fred are from a place called Mountain Brook, and I grew up in a neighborhood called Bluff Park. Alec and I met in college, and we started making music as the Brook and the Bluff in 2015 when Alec had a couple of beverages one night and decided to ask all the bar managers in town in Auburn where we went to school for some gigs. And from there, we decided to throw away our degree paths and chase some of these songs that we had written to see how far we could go. And now we're here, taking over your 10 o'clock hour. And we're going to be playing you some songs from our upcoming record yard sale and some of our past favorites. It's time to talk a little bit more about ourselves. Alec, what are some of the things that you remember growing up that really influenced you towards this path of saying, hey, I want to be in a band one day?
Yeah, I would say I definitely grew up in a fairly musical family. My dad was a guitarist and a drummer, and I had several cousins that were in bands and stuff. So I was kind of inspired to be like them from a young age. But my dad listened to like a ton of Boston and Van Halen and loved the like super kind of heavy rock guitarists and stuff like that. So I definitely learned to love that as a kid, and was kind of just very, very influenced by that environment that I was in. And I'd say the other side of it is like was growing up in choir too, which myself and John and Fred and Joseph all grew up in choir.
A bunch of choir boys here.
Bunch of choir boys learned, and that obviously has found a strong place in our music as a band up to now. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can remember growing up, my mom's a music teacher, so I had that around me, and my parents were in an acoustic duo, so that's kind of how we started, and just listening to Al Green and the Beatles and things like that in the car. Yeah. I think it's interesting that we all at one point were trying to be something else. John, do you want to tell the people a little bit about where you would be if you weren't sitting behind the skins?
I think that I would be on my long and arduous career path as an accountant. Because when I met you guys and saw y'all play for the first time, I was actually in the Masters of Accounting program at Auburn. And I had always been a drummer and a musician my whole life, but it wasn't until I met Alec and Joseph and saw them play that I thought, oh man, if I want to make music with anybody, I think it's going to be with these two. So I'm gonna go up and ask them if they want to make some music together. And 5 years later, here we are in Nashville, still doing the thing, very much working at it. So yeah, I would have been an accountant, but now I'm a drummer.
And we're happy.
That's so inspiring, John. And I think, and it leads me to an interesting thought about what kind of inspires us to make music and why we're here in the first place. And if you hear any squeaking, that's my puppy Lucy. So just bear with us here. She's young, but I think that's something that kind of inspires me and keeps all of us going is obviously our day-to-day lives and most importantly our relationships. So we're going to tee up a new song here for you from our new record that's about one of those relationships, and it's called Misnomer. Hello! Welcome back to Story Time with the Brook and the Bluff at the 10 o'clock hour. You are on that station, and this is Joseph.
This is Alec.
And John.
And we figured we'd tell you the story, the loose story behind one of our songs from our record called First Place, and that song is going to be called Halfway Up. So in 2016, I was in an international relationship. My girlfriend lived in Spain, and I lived in Birmingham, Alabama. So we planned a trip to visit each other. And one of the places that we went was a little village town in Austria called Hallstatt. It is actually now more popularly known as a background of your LG TV rest mode. And we went to visit, and we were in this town of Hallstatt, and we were there on the last day, and it was a really warm spring day. And we had decided we planned a hike to go up the mountain. So there was a place where you could overlook the whole village and this giant like metal point that comes out from the top of the cliff, and you can really just see over everything. And it's this breathtaking view, and one of those places that you get to and you're like, I can't believe that this place exists, that this is a real place on earth. So we started the hike, and I was wearing some really thick jeans, a jacket, and wool socks. And so we got about, halfway up the mountain, and I looked at her and I said, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it. I'm really sweaty. My feet are wet, and I feel a little bit anxious about that. So I'm just going to sit here on this bench and let you go all the way up to the top of the mountain. And so when I got home, I was kind of thinking about that, and I was thinking about kind of how that scenario of this hike was a little bit of a metaphor for what was going on in the relationship at the time, where I wasn't necessarily giving all of myself. So that's the story behind Halfway Up, and this is what it ended up sounding like.
When I was everything that you wanted, and I was on the path to being honest, I stopped when we were halfway up in Austin, and it felt as we were living in our forfeits.
Hello, and welcome back once again to the That Station 10 o'clock Takeover. You're here with the Brook and the Bluff, and this is Joseph.
This is Alec.
And John.
Guys, what have we been doing
What have we been doing?
for the past year?
Well, we've obviously been finishing up our second record.
Yes.
In the meantime, it was about the only thing we could do during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Besides play Xbox.
Writing. There's always
Writing.
FIFA Ultimate Team.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Other than that, we just played some shows in our hometown in Birmingham. It looks like touring is going to start to come back. So maybe that's on the horizon.
Yeah, I think planning a big tour for the fall is a major thing we've been trying to do.
Yeah.
I remember seeing an article like at the beginning of when everything hit in 2020 that was like the most doomsday article that was like, watch out guys, touring's not going to be back till fall 2021. And I remember reading it and being like, no.
That's not possible.
And
We'll be back out in May.
unfortunately, well, fortunately and unfortunately, we it did take a long time, but we are going to get back out on the road in the fall, which we're super stoked about. But during the pandemic, we were able to write and record a new record. And
Pfizer boys.
Yeah,
Pfizer strong.
But that record is in the process of coming out right now. Side A has been released, and we're going to be playing a couple songs from that EP from you. And what is the one we're playing up next, Joseph?
I think we're about to play Petals on the Floor, which is the third song that we put out from Side A. And I think the most interesting thing about this song is that when we took it to Micah Talks, our producer, and started working on it in the studio, it was this 2 electric guitar, almost like, complete different vibe.
Very different. It was a little closer to the first place.
Yeah,
vibe,
it was really close to our first place, like to that record. It almost could have been on that record, and then, we were in there trying to do something different, trying to change a little bit, and Micah introduced us to the 12-string guitar, and I don't think that our recording lives will ever be the same.
Never.
And Petals on the Floor was really the springboard for that, where the whole 12-string all over the record kind of started, and I think you're going to see why.
It just sounds beautiful. You cannot deny it.
This is...
But don't take our word
But
for
don't
it. Here's the song.
Here's the song, Petals on the Floor.
Petals on the floor. Can I get some more from you? If you only could see
Hello, once again. We are the Brook and the Bluff. You are listening to that station. And it is time for us to leave, you guys, for the 10 o'clock hour. It has been a heck of a ride.
A pleasure.
Thank you for joining us. I was about to crush it.
He was almost ready,
He was almost ready.
and then he froze.
And then we crashed and
He
burned, but
froze.
we're going to land on our feet, guys.
But we're going to land on our feet
It's
because
okay.
we're going to play you one more song from our new EP, Yard Sale Side A. Side B will be coming out soon. But this is the final song from Side A, and it's called Don't Go Slippin' Away.
Away. That's right. Hope you enjoy it, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
We'll see you soon.
Peace.